Hello, and thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino. I'm the CEO of K9 for Veterans. Tonight, we've got two really special guests with us. We have Mark Kinecki. Did I get that? Kinecki. And Julie Hines. They are. Mark is the founder of Mr. CBD Chicago. Mark, I got to ask you, what led you to this passion for CBD?
Well, basically, I had stomach issues, and traditional medicine wasn't helping me, and CBD was the alternative, and it turned into a much more healthier lifestyle for me. So, I'm not just the founder; I'm the best
You're
client.
an active, yeah. Yeah, Julie, how are you playing in this? What part are you playing?
Well, I got into cannabis back when I had a horrible medical issue that no doctor could diagnose. And I was on many medications and just really suffering the effects of that. So I was looking for an alternative, got into it, and haven't looked back.
What are the benefits? I think a lot of people truly don't understand the benefits from CBD, or they're maybe apprehensive about experimenting with it, or taking it, or giving it a try.
Well, CBD is non-psychoactive, so that's the number one thing. And then on top of it, the cross between like a multivitamin and like nature's pain relief is what CBD really is. That's the layman's terms of it. Of course, it's good for anti-inflammatory. It can help out with curb anxiety for people. There's a lot of different things that it can be utilized for. It just depends on what you're looking for. But those are the main things that people look for.
Right.
Pain management, anti-inflammatory, and it curbs anxiety. That's the reason. And there's no psychoactive in CBD. That's the big part that people forget.
I get it. What are some of the other benefits that you could take it for? Now, we were talking earlier about for like our service dogs that come in with anxiety issues or whatever. I mean, how is that going to help a service dog or a dog in general?
Well, all animals have endocannabinoid systems, including fish, and dogs have heightened endocannabinoid systems, and so CBD is good. It's kind of like without making the claim, it's a proverbial like fountain of youth, and sometimes right now, currently, people don't know enough about CBD for pets, so it becomes the last line of defense instead of the first. And so now we're trying to normalize it to help make it understand that we should be proactive instead of reactive with CBD when it comes to dogs.
So, as opposed to taking medicine, you think cannabis has a better place for, like, say, pain management or depression or anxiety?
Julie, take this one. You got it.
Especially when it comes to animals, I think that CBD is probably the smarter option. With a lot of the medications that we give to animals for pain management especially, or anxiety, they are habit forming and we can't speak to them. They can't speak to us. So it's always nicer to go with the natural option to address those issues first. And then afterwards, we can go the medication route if necessary, which some cases you do need.
I know a lot of our veterans have taken it, and they've told me, it's helped me tremendously reduce the amount of pills that I take.
Absolutely.
And it's really helped my attitude. It helps me sleep at night. It helps with, a lot of them have anger issues, and it's really helped them with their anger issues as well.
Sure. Look, we live in Chicago. You got road rages. CBD is a great way to curb that,
Yeah, right. For somebody who's not sure or very apprehensive about taking CBD, what would you say to them?
I would say we all have endocannabinoid systems for a reason, but we all have different biochemical markers, and that means that how you are going to react to it will be different from myself, and how you're going to want it. Like, you have a different palate than I do, so how you might want to take it will be different from myself. If you like to drink coffee, we have CBD coffee.
Okay.
So we meet people where there at.
So we were talking earlier where there's a liquid that they could take as well as the gummy.
Yes, we have. We're all made of water. 75% of us is made of water. So we have CBD Incredible Infusion liquid, and it has it's really concentrated, and you can put it into any beverage or into food. And so it has two different onsets, and so it has two different feels that it comes from it. And once you try it, because it's nano-emulsified water and you're made of water, it's remarkably refreshing. It has no odor and no taste. And because you have a different palate than I do, you can put it in anything you want.
Right. Now, does does CBD affect people differently? Well, if I get a certain high from it, or if that's the right word I'm looking for,
I would think you're more at ease, is what it would be more like. People associate the high with THC, and CBD is more of a calming effect.
Yeah, the high is
Right.
usually associated with a psychoactive effect, which CBD doesn't
Doesn't have
provide.
well, I know it has some really good effects on the veterans that I've talked to that have taken it. You know, again, they swear that, you know, it's helped them tremendously.
Yeah, I dealt with some situations with PTSD myself, and I know what it's like. And so CBD has helped curb that, and it puts you in homeostasis. That's what people don't understand. You know, CBD is a part. We have a CB1 receptor that's responsible for our immune system, right? And if your body is at ease, then your mind is at ease, then there's no disease that can live inside of you because of it, right?
Right.
And that's what people have. That's what people need to start figuring out. That's what CBD is good for. As people think about taking vitamin C every day, I want CBD to be as normalized as that for people.
Really?
Absolutely.
Just to take it every day, like
Every day.
like a Flintstone vitamin.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. It should be taken as such. And as you grow older, your needs become different. And so that's why there's isolate CBDs, broad spectrum, and there's different cannabinoids that will fit for your lifestyle and what you're looking for.
Mark, you're a true advocate of this, and you're out there not only promoting it, but you want people to truly understand what it is that you're promoting. It's not just, here, take this and you're going to feel better.
No.
You want the root cause of how it's going to make them feel and why they should take it. So it's more educational for you than just out there promoting Mr. CBD.
Correct. Yeah, I'm for education and less regulation is what we need.
Is there a lot of regulation?
There is, and I think, but we've kind of helped pioneer a lot of that. We do work. We got ourselves into local grocery stores in the area, which kind of was helping it normalize it, and that's what we decided to do. But yeah, you're right on the education part of it. We're on the verge of becoming accredited educators, so healthcare workers can get additional credit hours for their continuing education, and I'm excited to be a part of that. I mean, it's just remarkable.
Why do you think CBD wasn't legal before? Why did the big turnaround now that all these towns are now opening these CBD stores and stuff? What made that change?
I think people saw the Hemp Act when it came out back in 2018 opened a lot of people's eyes for what could be done. CBD is very great for people who are dealing with seizures, and that's why we're talking about with dogs as well. I have 4 huskies at home, and one of my dogs was having weekly seizures. I gave her CBD, and she hasn't had any since.
Really?
And I'm not allowed to make claims. That's just what happened.
Right.
And then, my one dog is a 2-time cancer survivor, so it's a different situation where that helped out as well. Cut down the inflammation. Instead of going through chemo, I was able to give her salmon oil and CBD, and it's 5 years later, and she's still kicking.
Get out, really?
You don't hear those stories all the time, especially after chemo with a dog. There's a lot that goes on with that.
Really?
And all my dogs are rescues, and I know that you guys do rescue dogs for your veterans. And so there's a transition period.
Right. We were talking about that earlier, that they go from a shelter where they're all this anxiety and commotion and other dogs just being crazy.
Right.
And then they come into a different environment, and there's still all that hyperness going on with them. So this would calm them down.
Absolutely, along with training as well.
Yeah.
It's not a miracle. It takes both.
You got to have the training.
But training can actually become more receptive to it because they're calm. If they're relaxed, then they're going to take the training better.
Right. What products would you say are the best CBD products on the market today?
That is an open-ended question. I work with a lot of different organizations. So I don't want to settle. We have 67 companies that we work with that you can find our products online. We vet all of them. They have to meet certain criteria in order to make it onto our site. And because people want to be able to utilize cannabis in whichever way they see fit, whether it's CBD or hemp-derived products, we want to make sure that they have options for those. And so we've basically done that. Topicals, edibles, beverages, tinctures, smokables, and flour. It's all available for people under one roof. Everything comes with certificates of analysis, so you know what's actually in those products. And we cross-check to make sure that it's in there.
What kind of control do they have over the growers that are growing these products? Is there a control, I guess?
Yeah, there's regulations that go along with it, absolutely.
So you just can't
You can't just grow and just
Yeah.
grow. I mean, no, not, and then have there's a lot of people out there that actually do shortcuts, and that's why we exist, so that we can actually set the standard for people, so that the products that you're getting are actually what they say they are.
I guess I love the fact that when I talk to our veterans, and they were on, as we talked earlier, 10, 12, 14 different kinds of medications, that once they start taking the CBD, they were able to cut that between the CBD and their service dog. It cut their intake of medicine almost in half.
I believe it.
It's funny you say that. That's exactly my situation. I ended up with a service dog, and I ended up, coming off of probably 20 plus medications.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So then you know what it's like then.
I do.
Firsthand.
Firsthand, I suffered for 10 years. 10 years, so they just kept adding medication after medication.
Well, that's what they do at the VA too.
Right.
They just keep, take this, take that.
Right.
Oh, you're having this. Well, let's
Yeah, we'll
get you
give you
another
this for
medication
that.
instead
Right.
of let's switch it or figure
Yeah.
something else out. Right. So we like to pursue all avenues, and I think CBD is a great option for that.
What do you think the best, like, if somebody was to go to your website and they're going to be looking for something, like if they're having anxiety issues or sleep issues or back pain, how would they know what product they need to get?
It does come to
I
consultation.
mean, there's a lot of
Oh,
products
yeah, there's
out
a
there.
lot of variants, what
how
they
are
might
you
need.
going to pinpoint that you're buying the right thing?
Sure, I get a lot of times people will call, and I actually will consult them myself.
Mm-hmm.
I still do that only for a limited amount of time, folks. Feel free to give me a call. I will talk to someone as an individual. Like the other day, someone called specifically about what they were looking for, and I didn't navigate them to what I want them to have. I navigate them to what they were looking for and what they
Right.
needed. So when someone's talking to pain management about, with me, they will reference a topical, and then I will tell them to do an ingestible as well, so you can hit the pain from the inside and out. Most people won't talk to you about it that way. They're just like, here's a topical, good luck. And when you absorb it in your skin, it's going to be different than when you ingest it. But imagine having a pain, okay, that you want to take care of. And so you're used to taking like aspirin, right? Well, we have gel caps that are made of CBD. And you take it 20 minutes after a modest meal, and it has a better onset. And then you're putting a topical on it, so you're hitting it from the inside and out. You're going to recover faster.
Now, when you go to your website, does that explain that? I mean,
We're not allowed to make claims. Obviously, things are highly regulated out there. So
Right.
we tell people that, this may help you with this may help you with that, because we're not allowed to make claims. They're still working on. That's why case studies are important. More research and development is happening, and we're pioneering a lot of that.
well, Julie, you could attest to that yourself firsthand, right?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
you don't need to be regulated by anyone. You're living proof of how it's helped you with your PTSD and taking the
Absolutely.
cannabis.
It helped with pain management, PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, pretty
Does-
much everything.
Does it matter if you do a roll-on for pain or a gummy for pain?
It does matter, because how it's going to be. Again, when you absorb it through your skin, is going to be separate than how it would work when it hits through your kidneys and when you're eating it. It is going to be different. And then there's people who would not want to smoke or vape, but we have inhalers. So when you actually use it in your you're putting it in your lungs, it hits you at your capillaries. It's within 30 seconds.
Really?
So
That
it's
quick?
quickly. So we have inhalers for people who, like, if you're dealing with something you can't eat, you're not going to drink something. You do the inhaler, you're going to be able to breathe. And so it hits. That's always what I tell people if you're looking for the quickest version of this and how it's going to hit you. It's through your lungs, always through your capillaries first.
Really?
That's the
More
quickest
so
way.
than a gummy or a
1,000%.
liquid?
Yeah, liquid could
Right.
be a 5-minute onset. An edible could take 25 to 45 minutes, depending on you. And that's where people make the mistake. It's like, I don't feel it.
Right.
I don't feel it. Maybe I should take
Yeah,
another
then
one.
they take another one and
Right.
it's
And then
like,
they really feel
whoa.
it. Right. And so, usually when people tell me that ingestibles don't work, it's more the individual wasn't working. People don't realize that you shouldn't do it on an empty stomach, and that it should be, 20 minutes after a modest meal.
And every ingestible isn't created equal. There
No,
are
it's
different
not.
technologies, different ways you can utilize it in your system, and all those different pathways alter the way it's going to affect you.
I've talked to a lot of people about CBD, but your passion, Julie, I mean, it's passion. It really is, and it comes from your heart. You're not just out there saying, "Here, take this, buy this, do that." No, you want it, and I think that's what I find incredible about Mr. Chicago CBD, is that you want to educate people. You just don't want to, here, buy this product and we're done with you.
Sure.
You want people to know what they're taking, why they're taking, how they should take it, and what it's going to do for them.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going to set you aside, and what does set you aside from everybody else. I know, just talking to you, when we were at dinner tonight, I'm going, oh, God, really? I could not believe the knowledge you have about your products.
It's not about the products even. It's to take a step further. It's about the plant. I feel like we can have a positive impact on people with the and the planet with the plant in so many different ways. You hear people talk about it, but talking about it and actually applying it are two different things. And I'm out there trying to make a difference and apply it.
Well, you're trying, I guess, open the doors to a lot of other groups, organizations, and cities, and you're in the process of doing that now, right?
Yeah, correct. We are in 2 major grocery store chains locally. Shout out to Pete's Fresh Market and Caputo's. Now we're also embarking on the service industry with restaurants and bars. And so we're teaching people how to serve this with beverages and food. It's a different way. We want to educate through entertainment because that's what people are used to. That's why we're here.
We were talking earlier about a cocktail that they're going to be selling, hopefully, in bars.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
CBD infused beverages.
How does that work?
It's all they'll take. First off, it's nano. Actually, I'll let you kind of go over the nano liquid if you don't mind.
It's a nanotechnology that basically, when we know oil and water separate, so when you mix the CBD oil in with a water base, as we did, usually you get an issue. So the nanotechnology creates a hydrophilic instead of a hydrophobic environment for the CBD oil, so you can infuse it in anything. You can use it in cooking, you can bake with it. Yeah.
So,
and then when you put it in a drink, again, that's the best version of this. The quick version is that you put in anything you want,
Right.
doesn't smell, doesn't taste, and you're feeling great within 5 minutes. And so
Really?
we're out. I came from the service industry, serving beverage, serving alcohol and food, and so we're teaching people how to do the same thing with CBD.
right. Somebody who's never taken CBD before, how do they know how much they should take the first time around?
That's a minimal dose should be anywhere in the range of 10 to 25 milligrams for someone, and then you will be able to figure out what works for you after that. But that's a micro dose is what they would call that.
So you should take some, see how you feel, and if it's not
Absolutely.
doing anything, up
or
the dose.
figure out the different product that works better for you.
They always say start low and
Right.
go slow.
Go slow.
Right.
I like that. What are some of the what are some of the products that are you coming up with anything different now? I mean,
So you will absolutely. We have 3 flagship products. So we have the incredible Infusion liquids by Mr. CBD, and we have a Delta 8 version of that. And then we have Best Friend Pet Tincture, which is just straight salmon oil and CBD with no preservatives. And we did that, so you have to, preservatives are bad for everybody, even dogs. So those are our 3 flagship products. And then, of course, we have a bunch of companies that we work with that, whether it's beverages, I could recommend a ton, hemp, CBD, or THC. And then we're actually going to start pioneering additional products coming down the pipeline specifically for pets, for dogs and cats. I'll kind of let you talk a little bit about that.
Right, so we're working on getting the administering the drug better. So I think a big problem is a lot of our pet products come in tinctures, and especially when you're looking at dogs and cats, they don't really take well to things being, forced down their
Yeah,
throats.
right,
I
yeah.
mean, like anyone.
Sure.
So it's just we're working on different ways to get that product in our animals, make it easier, and see if we can't, benefit these animals with a product that they might not have been able to get because of the administration.
that's amazing. It
Yeah.
really is. What are your future plans?
Educating as many people as I can in a much larger way possible. I want to, that's why you're laughing, right? What are my plans? That's an open-ended question for me.
Right.
Normalizing cannabis as a whole. People don't know the difference between THC and hemp, and that CBD.
What
in
is
all
the
of it.
difference?
I'm glad you mentioned that. So hemp, people associate with industrial. and it has little to no THC involved in it.
That's hemp.
Yep, and it's more for fiber opportunities. And now people are taking hemp and they're processing it to make legal THC with it, which you can do. That's a whole nother story in itself and another TV show. But hemp is being used for mainly, like if you wanted to talk about the lowest level of cannabis, is hemp hearts, which is superfood. You know, so that and there's no psychoactives in that whatsoever. It's just high in omega-3s, antioxidants, and it's a great source of protein and amino acid.
How would somebody know if they're taking something with hemp as opposed to THC?
It should be labeled accordingly.
Okay.
It would be massively different. There's hemp-derived THC and there's metric delta-9 THC.
What's delta-9?
Delta-9 is what you're used to getting from a dispensary.
Okay, that's a higher content?
It is. It's just, I wouldn't call it a higher content per se. I would just say that it's what you're used to. It has the psychoactives in it. So there's delta-9, which is, you know, legal metric delta-9, which you find in your dispensaries, which we are a green state. It's not federally legal. Well, delta-8 is hemp-derived THC, which is federally legal.
So if I go to the store and it's sitting there on the shelf, and I say, well, you know, I'm gonna try that.
Right.
How do you know what?
There should be a QR code on there that would take it immediately to the certificate of analysis, so you can actually see what that product has in it, and so you know what you're taking.
Okay, so that takes the guesswork out of it.
Correct. But then you have to know how to read that as well.
Yeah.
So
do you have to be a chemist to read that?
I wouldn't go that far. But that's why I think we try to come into the terms of being like, I'm like an everyman's man when it comes to cannabis. You know, I know a lot of the science that comes along with it. You heard me talk about it earlier.
Right. Yeah, I was like dazed and confused.
No, that's a good reference.
Yeah.
But you know, I think what it comes down to is that, you know, just simplifying it. Like we talked about, CBD is essentially a multivitamin crossed with nature's pain relief.
If somebody was interested in having you come out and talk to their group, are you available for something like that?
That's something that we're actually going to start embarking on now that we're on the verge of becoming an accredited education company, so we can go out there and do continuing education for healthcare workers. I'm looking at privatizing that as well and doing master classes for people on hemp, CBD, and THC.
Unbelievable. I didn't, you know, not knowing that much about it, I'm even more confused now.
Well, let's not do that. Let's not confuse the situation. I want to simplify it.
Yeah, no, you are.
And we are trying to do that. You know, again, when it comes to hemp, people associate hemp with industry. You know, can we make rope out of it? Can we make paper? That's what most people think of when they hear hemp. Well, hemp is also, you know, a good source of, you know, a daily source of what you need for your body. So you can eat it, you can utilize it to make things. I can't wait till it becomes more normalized where you should be wearing it. You know, taking plastics away and turning into hemp plastics. Those are the things that we need to pioneer. Those were taken away from us, you know, 100 years ago, the ability to do those things. Mm-hmm. And so once it became federally legal, it wasn't like, boom, industry is going to just snap up out of nowhere.
Somebody with back pain, what would you say?
Oh, back pain? Well, that would be me. So
and me.
Yeah, right. So I had 3 herniated discs, and so I know what it's like to have back pain.
So what would they take for something like that?
Well, I would definitely recommend a couple different things. You know, you want to have a topical so that your skin can absorb it that way, and then I would recommend an ingestible, whether it's a tincture, a gel cap, or a gummy. Those would be perfect for that pain relief. And then, of course, I have to be biased that our incredible infusion liquid would absolutely be a perfect way to go because you are made of water.
Right.
So what better way to get it into your system than having water?
How did you come up with the name Mr. CBD Chicago?
Oh boy, here we go.
We talked about that earlier, but I'd like our audience to know that.
So there's an old story about this. I've been owning businesses in Chicago since I was 17 years old. And my first ever business was Mr. Blue Jeans, and so this was kind of an ode to my first business because I said this would be my last, so to speak.
Yeah.
This is my last project, and I want to, end it on this big, this is the end, the big round of applause. This is how we work it out. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that everyone has a guy, right? And I wanted to be Chicago's guy. When you say I got a guy, Mike,
yeah.
I need air conditioning.
I got a guy in Chicago.
I got a guy, and so I wanted to be everyone's guy. And that's what it came down to. And so Mr. CBD is that. And our logo is a top hat, a monocle, and a mustache because I wanted to take away the leaf out of the logo. And our logo, I wanted it to be, I'm from Chicago. I wanted it to be the jump man of cannabis. And our tagline is trust your dopeness.
I like that. I like that. Like I said earlier, I've talked to a lot of people about different types of cannabises and stuff like that. but you are probably the most educated, and yourself, about about educating people. That seems to be a really big goal of yours, is to educate people. And that's what I find so amazing about your company, is that it's not just buy this product now and you're going to feel better. No, I want you to know why you're taking it. I want you to know what product you're taking and how to take it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And where to go from it as well.
Right.
And let me make a very important announcement right now. Mr. CBD Chicago and K9 for Veterans has just partnered, which we will be adding them to our website. We'll be on their website. We'll be posting it out there tomorrow. So it's going to be an amazing partnership. I'm so excited about that. Our veterans are so looking forward to this. It's an amazing partnership. It really is. And again, you as a person, I mean, I think you're amazing. Julie, you're so knowledgeable about this. I couldn't think of a better partnership that I would like to be a part of.
We're honored to be a part of it.
Oh, and we're honored to be a part of Mr. CBD Chicago. I mean, it's just a great product, and it's a real product, and there's real people behind it. And I know if our veterans have an issue with whatever, you're going to help them through it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the personalized touch that I find that's so important when we partner with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't want to say, oh yeah, we're partnering with this company.
Sure.
No, we want it to be a true partnership in every sense of the word. And I think that's what we have with you, and I can't wait to break this out tomorrow on our Facebook page, our website, and get it out there, let people know that, hey, and not only that, if you go to our page and you click on that link and you buy some product and you put in the code, and Mark, tell us what that code is.
So you go to MrCBDChicago.com and you type in the code at checkout, K9 for the number 4 VETS, VETS 10, and it gives you 10% off of your purchase, and then a portion of the proceeds will go back to K9 for Veterans on your behalf.
That's amazing, and we're going to have that on our website tomorrow with a link to your page so they could purchase these products. And again, it's really exciting for us to be a part of your Mr. CBD Chicago.
It's quite the opposite. We're honored to be a part of K9 for Veterans.
Oh, I just think it has such a place it's just going to be a really good thing for our veterans. It really is.
It is. It'll be, people appreciate good causes. This is a great cause, and it gives us an opportunity, like you talked about, to educate through entertainment, through a good cause. We're going to be out there making people happy. You know, when I was at the last event, before we became an official partner, I had an opportunity to see you, give the service dogs to the veterans, and I had a chance to sit down with one of them, every one of them individually, like we talked about, and explain to what it could do for their dogs and how it could help them, and then how they should reach. If it could help. Dogs don't know anything about placebo effect.
Right.
So if it works, it works.
Mark, Julie, Mark, why don't you give us one last plug and where they can find us at?
Want to go ahead? Yeah, MrCBDChicago.com. That's how you find us. You can use the code again, K9 for the number 4 VETS 10 for 10% off your next purchase. Once again, that's MrCBDChicago.com.
And watch for our go to our Facebook page tomorrow, and you'll see a big posting about it. You'll find a link that'll take you right to Mr. CBD Chicago. Make that purchase, because it's not only going to help you, but it's going to help support our service dogs, and so we can provide more to veterans.
Absolutely. And the next event that you have, I want to make sure that I offer my services to do like a Cannabis 101 for your vets and all your guests that are coming.
I think and again, that's what really impresses me, is it's just not about selling your product. It's about education. I want to thank you. They're giving me that high 1-minute warning sign.
Well, we're going to make sure that we're going to help normalize utilizing cannabis together, and that we're the first line of defense and not the last line of defense for our veterans and our dogs.
Mark, Julie, I want to thank you for being my guest tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's an amazing partnership. We're looking forward to really working together and really rolling this out to everybody.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.